When it comes to aging, we've all seen some type of supplement, some type of drink, some type of cream that we can put on our face and reverse aging, and we can look wonderful and beautiful. We've seen these in movies that have their own spin off of Ponce de Leon's Fountain of Youth, where we just wash in this water or drink the water and we're glowing and we're young and youthful, what have you. But it turns out that reversing age is something that is happening daily. It's happening right now. People are doing it. And the scientific breakthroughs are actually pretty extraordinary. But not just that, there are practical things that you can do that are being overlooked that literally reverse your age. My name's LK Way. I'm the wellness writer for the True Age Now blog, as well as the wellness coach for my own personal wellness brand, Wellhouse. And I want to talk to you about reversing your age and how and why it's possible and that it's basically happening. Now, I have a free ebook. My free ebook is called Death to the Deathbed. It's basically about really shifting your paradigm on how you view aging. You don't need to look at aging as something that you enter into. You get older, and as you get older, you get decrepit. You can't see, you can't have all this pain, you can't do anything, and then you die in your sick bed. And no. So this book basically talks about how you do not have to die like that. But one of the things that I want to highlight in this book, particularly in this video, is reversing your age, right? I talk about that in this book. I get into great detail about how to reverse aging. There are a lot of things that are being done to reverse aging. I want to talk about the practical things that you can do, some of the scientific breakthroughs as well. So practically speaking, some of the things that you can do to reverse your age, and these are things that are overlooked. They're overlooked so bad, especially in today's time where we have so many different things available to us, where we don't have to exercise, you don't have to eat right, but you actually kind of do if you want to have the fruit of eating right and exercising in your life. Even if you go have a nice wrapper and you get different things done to your body, the biological age will really reflect how old you really are in your body. Biological age reflects the age of your body. Chronological age is just a number. So when it comes to your health and really identifying or gauging where you're at health-wise, your biological age is a better indicator of how old you really are. Back when we were more primitive, doctors would tell us exercise, eat right, drink water, get sleep. These are 4 basic things that still reverse aging to this day. Even when I was doing research for this book, it took me a while to get this, but I actually wrote this book. It was this year. I published it this year, but towards the beginning of this year. Actually, I may have published it last year. Let me look. Or if it was either the beginning of this year or the end of last year. Yep, it was the beginning of this year. So I just published it. Well, not just published it, but it was published towards the beginning of this year. And when I was looking at the different things that scientists are discovering when they're looking at how to reverse aging, it's amazing that even though they're coming up with their scientific breakthroughs, it is shown that exercising, eating right, getting enough sleep, and drinking water on a cellular level literally reverse aging. So here you have scientists that are doing things like telomere lengthening. They're doing things like getting rid of senescent cells. They're studying how the cells repair themselves on a basic level. Like, how do our cells repair themselves? What keeps our cells from completing that repair cycle, right? Our cells are our most basic part of our body. Everything is made up of cells, right? We have our cell, and then we have a bunch of cells that make a tissue, and then we have a bunch of tissues that make an organ, then we have a bunch of organs that make a system, and then the systems make up our body, right? But on a cellular level, they're studying aging, and they're seeing that by exercising, eating right, drinking water, these are things that are reversing aging without some of the helpful supplements. Now, the supplements are still great. I'm not advocating against supplements by no means, but I'm just saying that it's amazing how these basic things that are still extremely overlooked can literally reverse your age right now. You can start walking and literally see a difference in your body in 2 weeks. Isn't that crazy? Literally. So in this book, I talk about some of the things they're doing: telomere lengthening, senescent cells, I also talk about NAD boosters, or some people call them NAD plus. I've heard them referred to both ways. And those are a type of supplement that you can take that basically helps with the rejuvenating of your cell, right? When your cells are healthy, when you have healthy cells and your cells are functioning properly, then you have basically a healthy body, because everything is made up of cells. So I get into the specifics in my book. So I would encourage you to download. It's a free download. It's a free ebook. If you like paper books, then you can order it from Amazon. Another thing that I talk about in the book is your diet, of course, and how you should eat. Alkaline foods are very important. An alkaline diet provides a great balance to our body. A body that's high in acid is a body that definitely feeds an atmosphere of inflammation. And what is inflammation? Inflammation is basically our body telling us that we're putting something in it that it doesn't agree with. We have been taught to kind of band-aid inflammation. We've been taught that, if you feel inflamed or you have inflammation, and then the true definition of inflammation is not something that's properly being communicated or people don't fully understand. But when you have inflammation, your body it's your body's way of telling you there's something in me that's not supposed to be here. That's where you have redness and swelling and some of the other features, pain, and depending on where it's at, nausea, depending on what's inflamed. Your body's trying to tell you something. But unfortunately, not me particularly, but generally speaking, there are medications that are prescribed to just deal with the pain or the symptoms of inflammation instead of getting rid of the inflammation. Inflammation is a huge contributor of aging. You want to get rid of inflammation. I do talk about that in my book. I talk about an alkaline diet, which I believe is extremely important. I talk about the pH levels of different foods that are pretty common in our diets. And I have a really a helpful chart here. It's an alkaline chart. And basically, you can see the acidic color, neutral, and alkaline foods are numbers. And foods that are high in alkaline on the alkaline chart, and maybe some that are a little bit lower, but are still pretty healthy. I would encourage you to get the book. It's a free book. It's a great resource that talks about how to reverse age. And it's also very helpful in helping you understand that you don't have to get old and be decrepit and die of sickness just because you're getting older. This is something that's really important to me. I started my True Age Now blog, and it's called True Age because I basically based it off the concept of biological age. You need to be thinking about your biological age. You need to understand that your biological age is how old you really are. Don't think, oh, I'm 60 or 40 or 50 and I'm supposed to have this. No, throw that out the window. It's your biological age. How well are you taking care of your body? You can literally be 50 years old with the body of a 30-year-old. You can have a younger heart. You don't necessarily have to be 60 with a 60-year-old heart. And I predict that, this is just me, really guessing, not me saying that I know this and I have some type of scientific proof or prophetically speaking. I'm not saying that, but I do believe the more that we begin to speak like this and talk about how we can reverse aging, the things that we can do to promote longevity, I believe that the sayings that we have now of, oh, that's a 60-year-old heart, that's a 70-year-old, it's going to go out the window, because we're going to see more 60-year-olds who are vibrant. We're going to see 70-year-olds that are vibrant. We're already seeing it. We're seeing 60-year-olds and 70-year-olds that can walk circles literally around some of the 20 and 30-year-olds out here. Why? Because they're smoking, they're drinking, they're weak, they don't exercise, they have very sedentary lifestyles, they don't get out and do anything, and then you have this 60-year-old, 70-year-old that you can't even keep up with. I was sick at one point. I had a distressed nervous system. I have a friend named Becky, and I was out of breath trying to keep up with her. She's in her 60s. I was like, I can't walk that fast right now. I really couldn't. I was like trying to keep up. Like, listen, I'm out of breath. Granted, I was sick at the time, but I mean, good gracious, she can walk. So I really want to stir you up inside and help you understand that I don't give a crap how old you are. I don't care if you're 40 or 50 or 60. You can stop your age from declining. You can at best do this, exercise, drink water, stop eating garbage, download the book. It gets into the weeds the weeds and the details of different things that you can do to reverse aging and why it works. And then you can start going this way. You can start literally reversing the age of your body. All right. My name's LK Way. I just wanted to share this with you. I'm very excited about this book. This is an amazing book. I'm not just saying that because I wrote it. I'm saying it because information in it is invaluable. It doesn't cost you anything. You can read it at your own leisure. It's just a really good book. This is kind of like how it looks on the inside. Again, this is the paper copy, but the e-book is free. Just click on the link in the description to take advantage of that. My name is LK Way. Please like my video if you found it helpful. Share it with somebody that you feel would benefit from it. And again, I'm LK Way, and I'm wishing you an awesome day today. Take care.